power. It seems, therefore, that every thing which is laudable is praised because it possesses a certain quality, and is in a certain respect referred to something. For we praise the just and the brave man, and in short the good man, and also virtue, on account of works and actions. We likewise praise the strong man and the racer, because they are naturally adapted to possess certain qualities, and have reference in a certain respect to something good and worthy. But this also is evident from the praises which pertain to the gods ; for they appear to be ridiculous when referred to us. This, however, happens as we have said, because praise subsists from relation. But if praise is given to things of this kind, it is evident that no praise can be given to the most excellent things, but something greater and better pertains to them, as also appears to be the case. For we proclaim the gods to be blessed and happy, and we also proclaim the most divine of men to be blessed, and in a similar manner we celebrate what is good. For no one praises felicity in the same way as he does justice, but he proclaims it to be blessed, as something more divine and excellent than justice. Eudoxus, likewise, in his defence of pleasure, appears to have given it the palm of victory in a proper manner. For in consequence of its not being praised, as being among the number of good things, he considers this an indication that it was more excellent than things that are laudable. But God and the good are things of this kind. For other things also are referred to these. For praise, indeed, is given to virtue, since from this we are enabled to perform beautiful deeds. Encomiums, however, pertain to deeds, and in a similar manner to bodies and souls. The accurate discussion, however, of these things is perhaps more adapted to a treatise on encomiums. But to us it is evident, from what has been said, that felicity is among the number of things honourable and perfect. It seems, likewise, that it is so, because it is a principle. For we all of us do every thing else for the sake of this. But we admit that the principle and the cause of what is good is something honourable and divine. CHAPTER 13. Since, however, felicity is a certain energy of the soul, according to perfect virtue, we must direct our attentions to virtue. For perhaps we shall thus also speculate better concerning felicity. But it seems that he who is skilled in the administration of public affairs, labours especially about this. For he wishes to make the citizens worthy persons, and obedient to the laws. And as an example of these, we have the legislators of the Cretans and the Lacedaemonians, and any others there may have been of this kind. If, however, the speculation itself is of the political science, it is evident that the inquiry will be conformable to our intention from the beginning. But our discussion must be concerning virtue, viz. Human virtue. For we investigate human good and human felicity, and we call human virtue not the virtue of the body, but of the soul. And we say that felicity is the energy of the soul. If, however, this be the case, it is evident that he who is skilled in the administration of public affairs ought to know whatever pertains to the soul, just as he who intends to cure the eyes ought to have a knowledge of the whole body, and this in a greater degree, by how much more honourable and excellent the political is than the medical science. Of physicians, likewise, the more elegant are busily employed about their knowledge of the body. He, therefore, who is skilled in the administration of public affairs must direct his attention to the soul, but he must direct his attention to it for the sake of these things, and so far as is sufficient to the objects of inquiry. For to consider the soul still more accurately is perhaps more laborious and difficult than the present discussion requires. We have also said some things sufficiently concerning it in our popular writings, and those who must be consulted, such as that one part of the soul is irrational, but another rational, but whether these parts are separated in the same manner as the parts of the body, and every thing which is partible, or they are two parts in definition alone, and are naturally inseparable, as in the periphery of a circle, the convex and the concave, is of no consequence in the present discussion. Of the irrational part, however, one part resembles the common and vegetative power, I mean the power which is the cause of nutrition and increase. For such a power as this may be admitted to exist in every thing that is nourished, in embryos, and also in perfect animals, since it is more reasonable that this power should exist in them than any other. The virtue, therefore, of this power appears to be common and not human. For this part seems especially to energize in sleep. But a good man and a bad man can in the smallest degree be distinguished in sleep. Whence it is said, that the happy differ in no respect from the miserable during the half of life. But this happens reasonably, for sleep is an inactivity both of the worthy and the depraved soul, except so far as certain motions gradually arrive at the soul. And on this account the phantasms of worthy are better than those of worthless men. But of these things enough. The nutritive part, therefore, must be omitted, since it is naturally destitute of human virtue. There appears, however, to be another certain irrational nature of the soul, which nevertheless participates in a certain respect of reason. For we praise the reason of the continent, and also of the incontinent man, and that part of the soul which possesses reason. For it rightly excites to the most excellent deeds. There appears, however, to be in them, i.e. both in the continent and incontinent, something else naturally contrary to reason, which wars against and resists reason. For, indeed, as the paralyzed parts of the body, if we wish to move them to the right hand, are on the contrary moved to the left, thus also it is in the soul. For the impulses of the incontinent are in a direction contrary to the dictates of reason. In bodies, however, we see that which is moved contrary to the intention of the will, but in the soul we do not see that which is moved contrary to reason. Though perhaps we ought nevertheless to think that in the soul also there is something opposite to reason, which is adverse and proceeds in a direction contrary to it. But it is of no consequence in what manner it is different from reason. This part, however, appears, as we have said, to participate of reason. It is obedient, therefore, to the reason of the continent man. And perhaps it is still more obedient to the reason of the temperate and brave man, for all things are in concord with his reason. It appears, therefore, that the irrational part is twofold. For the vegetable part in no respect participates of reason, but the part which desires, and, in short, the orectic part, participates in a certain respect of reason, so far as they are attentive and obedient to it. In this way, therefore, we say that a man has a regard for, or pays attention to his father and his friends, and not after the same manner as he has a regard for the mathematical sciences, but that the irrational part is in a certain respect obedient to reason, admonition and all reproof and exhortation indicate. If, however, it be requisite to say that this part also possesses reason, that which possesses reason will be twofold, the one indeed properly and in itself, but the other resembling a child attentive to his father. Virtue, likewise, is distributed according to this difference. For we say that of the virtues, some are dianoetic, or belong to the power which reasons scientifically, but others ethical. And we denominate indeed wisdom, intelligence, and prudence dianoetic virtues, but liberality and temperance ethical virtues. For when we speak concerning the manners of man, we do not say that he is wise or intelligent, but that he is mild or temperate. We likewise praise a wise man according to habit, but we call the laudable habits virtues. End of Book 1. Recording by Jeffrey Edwards.